It's a rite of passage for all central Pennsylvanian school children to go ride on the horseshoe curve in Altoona. It's mostly to keep them from expecting too much out of field trips, because it's central Pennsylvania and everything's 2 hours from nowhere. Where else are you gonna go? Kinzer Dam? The Anthracite Coal Museum in Scranton? The blue sign that's pretty much all that's left of Tom Mix's birthplace? At least the curve is a freaking minor league baseball team named after it. Never thought much of railroads as a kid, but if I had Sid Meier's Railroads exclamation point back then, today I might be quite different. Might be wearing an anorak and yammering on to anyone who would listen about the new narrow traction bogies and, well, I was already like that about video games anyway. Speaking of, here's one. Much in the vein of Sid Meier's other awesome simulation games, your goal is to amass a fortune and build your infrastructure by utilizing the awesome power of trains. The Iron Horse is your ride to the big time as you run lines between towns, cities, and industrial outposts, shipping ore to make steel and steel to make cars and cars to make your own industry obsolete. After you've made your millions, that is. Point is, in the middle there's about 1 million little fiddly bits to tinker with, and it appeals to the kind of folks who love tinkering with exactly that kind of stuff in order to win games. Sure, you've got your checklist of goals to complete in the single-player scenarios, and if you're playing multiplayer, there's all sorts of competition like stock holdings and patent rights, and it's enough to make your eyes roll back in your head, and when you wake up, you're a guy named Laguna, and you're utterly failing to get it on. As you zoom over the countryside, the sound effects and music grow distant, but the occasional snippet of something banjo-y might waft into the mix should you pass close to a city. Which seems weird when you're playing the German scenario and you're wondering why the hell there appears to be a bluegrass festival outside of Bremen. The board, as it were, for this big old simulation is beautifully rendered, with no impediment too solid for the mighty railroad. Tunnel through a mountain? No problem. Need a bridge? Make it happen. Buildings in the way of your optimal line? Tell them to move. The sign of a really fun simulation, perhaps not the most realistic, but definitely the most fun, is knowing where to draw the line between crunchy, fiddly details and hand-waving. Sid Meier's Railroads hits that one right out of the park, allowing you to focus on the bigger picture aspects of drawing your lines around the countryside to connect lumber mills to paper mills to newspapers so everyone can read about how freaking awesome you are, and that clay tablets are apparently back in vogue. Railroads exclamation point gives you everything you need and little you don't. There's a tutorial, thankfully, for learning the intricacies of commerce and extra tricks like how to manage double tracks, a bajillion little twists to the mechanics like buying and building industries wherever you have a depot, and piles of preloaded scenarios from the American Midwest during the steel boom to the very beginning of the Liverpool and Manchester Railway, where you have to get sheep safely to Wales, and I'm to understand that could be difficult. Still, adversity is the key to good industrial... Oh, who am I fooling? You're already making choo-choo noises with a glazed-over look on your face. Don't deny it. Roll with it. There ain't no getting off of this train we on. And yes, I went there.